Amanda, Governor Lamont starting his news briefing off in a somber tone, announcing 1,036 COVID-19 related deaths here in Connecticut. He also showed us this shocking chart. We want you to take a look. In this chart, you can see car crashes, the Asian flu, 2017, 2018 pneumonia and flu, and in red is COVID-19 just shooting right up. Lamont pointing out in 5 short weeks, COVID-19 deaths in the entire country surpassed cancer and is set to surpass heart disease, as you can see. And as numbers increase, so does the stress and anxiety. The commissioner of the state's Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services spent a lot of time discussing resources available to residents right now who are at home dealing with anxiety, pointing to the department's website for people to find coping skills, how to manage stress, support lines, and even virtual support groups. The commissioner reminding residents, although we need to self-isolate, there are still ways to connect while staying safe at home. The Department of Children and Family Services also joined Lamont discussing their new public service campaign, Talk It Out, aimed at parents and caregivers. We also had a chance to ask Lamont about his goal of keeping residents safe while working with the tri-state region. Take a listen.
I then have to turn around and coordinate with New Jersey and Connecticut and Massachusetts and Delaware, and what are we all doing and how does it work together? If I don't, what I do on my beaches in New York makes a difference to New Jersey, makes a difference to Connecticut. They just called today, we have an issue we have different policies on marinas. So people from New York are going to other states because other states have their marinas open, and we don't have our marinas open.
Yeah, I heard most of that. Yeah, what Governor Cuomo and all the regional governors have talked about is when it comes to opening up different facilities, to do some of them on a simultaneous basis, a bar, a restaurant, a marina, even a beach. Down in Greenwich, they had to close Todd's Point Beach because a lot of people from New York were going up to that beach. If he if he keeps his bars closed and we opened ours, you have people going back and forth. So I think, we're going to make up our own mind in terms of how we open up Connecticut over the course of the next, 6 months. We are coordinating some of these things just to do everything we can to not give anybody an incentive to have to drive across borders or to drive from the southern part of the state to the northern part of the state.
And then also, you mentioned earlier this week about an executive order in terms of face masks within 48 hours. What's the latest on that? And then could you also just talk about how you're doing? I believe, Vanessa just talked about mental health and for families, but you, Governor, it's been a couple of weeks now that you're dealing with this. Talk about how you're doing.
Well, I prefer to talk about masks, and we are getting an executive order there. It's really guided by common sense. If you're an employer, provide your employee a mask, especially if you're in a grocery store or a place where you're public facing. And if you can't get a surgical mask, and we're getting more and more of those every day into the state, then provide a scarf or a bandana. If you're walking around and you're in a crowded area and you can't keep that 6 feet of distance, then you should must put on a mask to protect yourself if you can't keep the necessary social distancing. I think I showed you what's going on in areas where we've maintained strict social distancing and some states where they were a little more casual about it. And I don't want that to happen here in Connecticut. Look, speaking personally, I'm doing great. I don't know, some of the TV guys say you look tired on TV. I feel wonderful. I feel proud that I have an opportunity working with amazing people like Miriam and Vanessa, making a difference in people's lives every day. And that's why I wanted to be governor, to help make a difference at a time where government can make a difference in people's lives. But thank you for asking.
And you can find more information on those mental health services we mentioned earlier on the Fox 61 website. Live in Hartford, Nia Maldonado, Fox 61 News.